Hi, my name is Jeremy. I'm from Kaigan Games. I'm the game designer for this project, and I want to run through a few scenes with you guys to basically break down our design process for developing this Doctor Who: The Lonely Assassins mobile game. All right, so let's just get started. So this is the intro for the game, and we actually looked at a few versions of the openings of the show, and we sort of decided like a very short, very quick uh, introduction to sort of get the players in right away. So right now we are getting into the first sequence, which is this phone unlocking thing. As we all know, um, when you turn on someone's phone, there's an unlocking sequence. But what once you try to unlock it, there's this self-destruct sequence because we want the players to get really invested in the game really quickly, and we added this self-destruct sequence because it builds that agency, it builds that sort of that intensity very early on, and it sort of uh, introduces this element of that, hey, the phone has technologies that you would not expect in the real world, like for example it getting hijacked right away by Osgood, and you immediately turning off the self-destruct sequence. So there's this override sequence to sort of get you build the expectation that, hey, somebody is helping you out throughout this journey. And right here you can see Osgood calling you. So uh, again, in found phone games, it's very important to set the premise because unlike other games, the found phone game is very limited to what you see on the screen here, and we want to make sure that everything that you need to expect is put up very early on. So Osgood calls you to sort of explain all this. What is the premise? Who you're talking to? Whose phone is this in that sense? Yep. Um, one thing. One thing I would also like to add on here is that the UI element. There's a very fine balance to making like this fictional phone UI. That you can sort of interact and play with. I think normally when you see UI on phones or in movies and TV, is that they're built very practically to like show the audience what's going on. And right now you can interact with it. So we need to use real world elements of how phones are designed to combine with the Doctor Who elements, and also to combine with the fact that we want to make sure that this is not a real phone. Like you're playing a game still at the end of the day, and we don't want you to be confused that, hey, we don't want to confuse this phone UI with your own personal phone UI. That's why you can see all these UI elements here. We want to make sure that it is unique enough that it stands out, but it's also not so far fetched that you will not believe that this is a phone. Like where all the icons are placed and everything. Um, we have a discussion here with Osgood, a very short conversation. For the dialogue, when we build this game, is that we want that sort of chat messages kind of feel that pacing of I send something, she sends something back, that quick reply. We don't want the dialogues to be too draggy, so uh, that's why we build it like this to make sure that the player can go on with their own pace. So, like for example, if a fast reader can just skip through pretty much right away, but also maintain that conversational kind of feel. But at the same time, if you want to take time and read through what Osgood is telling you, or maybe any other character is telling you, you can take your time as well. Um, Having this sort of pacing really sells you the world, sells you the characters, and also, if you're a fast reader, if you really want to get through the game itself, you can just skip right ahead. So she's kind of explaining how to play the game, and what do you expect to do throughout this whole game as well. So right here you can see that we are going into the browser, and as you can see, oh, there's something weird here, and there's a little icon that changes. So you see, right now what you're doing is you're tapping and hovering over this element of the phone here. Uh, I don't want to spoil too much, but this is actually building up to a very unique sequence in the middle of the game, and you see there's this clue that you can find. Again, we we introduced early on that Osgood is hacking through the phone, and she sort of hijacked the phone to give this phone a very unique feature for you to sort of investigate. So you can scan stuff, you can find clues, and you can store them and basically use those clues to figure out this mystery. Um, Something that we also draw inspiration from the show itself is that the scanning sequence um, has this sort of sonic screwdriver feel. If this waving around and finding things. Yep. Now it comes to the live video element parts. I think for a found phone game, the live video elements is plays a very important role because it adds that realism. It adds that it really blurs the line between show, game, and real life. So it just gives that level of immersion that you will not have from watching a show or even playing like a fully simulated 3D game. Thank you so much for joining me on this preview of Doctor Who: The Lonely Assassins. I cannot wait for you guys to play it. See you.
Petronella goes to Hella.